morning. So I am already mostly prepped. Prepping for me includes one, making sure my brows are groomed. I have Revival Brow and the brow primer. I have smooth canvas on and I tightlined. Those are the first steps that you can go back and watch my videos as to why, but brows being the most important feature of the face. I'm going to wait to fill them in to see how I need to match my lipstick to my brow color. And what I mean by that, it's not the color, the intensity and the shading. The critical tools that you can use is in a self-assessment tool, which is what I highly encourage my clients to do, is to imagine that you were a grayscale picture. And nowadays with our cameras, we can actually turn our images into a grayscale. And when you do that, you can see the darkest color inside of my coloring and my hair. In my case, my eyes and my roots are pretty much the darkest part of my features. And when I go to put my lip color on, we're gonna see what the intensity is between all of them. And whatever the balance becomes, we're gonna see whether the brows disappear or whether the brows become a prominent part of the structure of the face. And that's where people play along with, okay, I'm going to remove the brows and that makes a statement, or I'm going to define them, which to me is about the unconscious interpretation of your expression. And let me say that again. What that means is psychologically, we're always looking at people's faces, and your brows communicate so much about how you're feeling. Your resting bitch face definitely comes from brow placement, not just from your mouth. It's your eyes, it's your brows. But if we have angry brows, which sometimes we've seen people who've been microbladed where their brows come in like this communicates anger. So if your brows are brought in like this, that's what you're communicating. Very important to balance those brows. Decided this morning in my 10 minutes or less, because it really is yet again, is I'm going to start with a lipstick, and this is an experimental lipstick, and I'm not really going to be bringing lipstick in the line anytime soon, but this lab has had really nice lip products, so I just want to see what it does. It's actually not quite pink enough, believe it or not, for what I'm trying to achieve, but I'm wearing this lovely bright pink. It's a gorgeous spring day here in Atlanta. And once I start with these lips, and I think I'm gonna find a pretty hot pink lip gloss, so give me a sec. So I've decided how I'm going to manage this is by this awesome lip stain, a lip pen, and I love this. Still a little red. I'll find a pink gloss later. But for now, you can see how the intensity of this just left my brow color looking a little light. I'm going to use this experimental wand, and we will be getting this in. This is a brow tint. Many of our brow products that are on the market today have texture or gel. And as you know, I am not a gel fan because it dries out the brows. And in this case, this product goes onto the hairs, and going onto the hair is what gives us what I call a level 1. And the level 1 is your natural balanced brow, which is what most people who come to see me want, this natural balanced brow. They don't want a big old blocked brow. They want to look like, you know, their brows are perfect without any makeup. And this gives that illusion that we haven't put anything on them. And some people can't tint their brows, or they don't have access to tint their brows, and I'm really wanting a product that's going to go through. This wand is just extraordinary, and I want a product to be able to go through that hair and cover the grays, and that's exactly what we have here. Is this tint, the formula is just so wonderful where it is able to actually go through those grays. There's a few that are popping out, but for the most part, you know, I'm able to color uniformly. And then if I turned myself into a grayscale, you would see that my brows now balance with the lipstick and balance with clothes today with my scrubs. The other thing is, let's not fool ourselves that as we get older, there's a ton of discoloration that's in our skin. It's sun damage. It's, in my case, I'm fighting the pollen, which is at a 15,000 pollen count today. Nice little reaction from the pollen on my skin. This is competing with my face. If I were to walk out, this would just be unfinished and unpolished. People fight using more foundation than necessary. All that we want this foundation to do, and I think there's a really big misunderstanding, is we want it to even out the skin and we want it to look like skin. That's what I hear from most people. And it's finding the appropriate product that's easy and predictable, that you know what you're going to get when you go to use this product. My job inside of my studio is to make this process as easy as possible, that the products work for the majority of people, and that you can get it on without a ton of blending times. In my experimentation, which is what I've been showing you, is foundations where I'm like, okay, let's see what this does today, and let's see if it gives us that easy, natural, medium coverage. Medium coverage is going to be where we don't see any of this discoloration and where it's easy to get on, but I don't look like the Crypt Keeper, where I look like a mannequin or a doll. That's where we have so many. Listen, I have hundreds of different formulations and I get to try all of the new innovations that are coming onto the market. But still, at the end of the day, sometimes innovations aren't necessarily the best, and especially for women over 50, it's really important to understand we don't want anything that's going to sit into our wrinkles. We want it to even out our skin. We want it to be easy and natural and feel wonderful, and not by the end of the day, we don't look like we've been run over. Today's experiment is going to be this cream foundation. It's from a lab that has given me this a little bit ago, and I'm about to test it. We know how this testing goes, and I'm kind of afraid because I really don't have time to clean it up. And again, we're not looking for color. I'll fix this color. I'm looking for how does it feel on my skin and what kind of finish is it giving me. As you know, maybe you don't know because you don't follow me, but we have this amazing product inside of Authentic Beauty that's called the 3-in-1 Magic Foundation. And it's a medium coverage that feels and looks like skin, and it's wax-based. And it's absolutely wonderful. It has 3 different types of waxes. It's beautiful. It has a great coverage. But I'm wanting to upgrade the foundation formula, and sometimes it's a little challenging when what we're doing is I keep taking my formula, and unfortunately my manufacturer, he passed away, and I don't have the actual formula. So sending it to different labs to try to get it matched, and nobody has been able to do it really well yet. And so I'm just experimenting to see what else is out there that I might like something better. And so far, nothing has. So you see, I'm working so hard to blend this into my skin. And sometimes foundation does have to be prepped properly, but I'm kind of the opinion that all of us want to be able to use our face oils. Most of us who are in our 50s are using a much more moisture on our face, or you should be. If you're not, you really need to be learning how to prep your skin, because that's what's going to have your skin look the most healthy, is looking like you have moisture in your skin. I don't hate this. Would I say it's the best one that I've used yet? I love the coverage in it. Again, color is not 100%. And then there's trying different techniques. Try just stippling a little bit to see if I can get a little more coverage. Yeah, I don't like that, how that just built up on the skin. I don't know if you can see that. All right, I'm gonna have to. It also had a sponge to apply it with a sponge and not a brush. So I'm gonna just press it in. Sometimes you get directions and sometimes you don't. And it's funny, a lot of the people who are in these labs, they don't have a makeup background. They're salespeople. And I don't know how much the chemists have actually gotten to work with their products. They just come up with these great products. But they actually, how much testing have you done to see if it works? That's where they bring in people like Alexis from the Lipsticks Lesbians to go, hey, real world makeup artist, does my product actually work? You know, and not a brand. Brand exists to be able to solve your problems. So they go to them and they say, we need a product that does this. But I'm still not convinced. You know, when I hear somebody is so great at product development, and even celebrity makeup artists, I'm just going to say this right now, and your influencers, how many people have they touched in their career? How many different types of women have they touched? It's one thing if you're working on one celebrity, but I'm sorry, there are so many skin types and so many textures and so many different faces. And one product usually is not going to solve all of it. And that's why I'm testing it on so many people, but it has to pass my test first, because if I can't stand it on my skin, I promise you're not gonna stand it on your skin. Okay, I'm gonna morph this a little bit with this cream. This is a cream. And I used it in my eyes, which is hilarious. It's not bad. I'll keep it. And then for cheek, my favorite right now, I have her into the lab to see how we can get this product. I have now fully in love with it. I keep reaching for it. I keep reaching for it daily. It's a blur tint. It's from a Korean lab. But what I love about this is, one, how sheer it is, how it stains, and how it works on every single formula that I have used. And it doesn't disrupt the formulation. So if you're using powder, it lays on top of the powder. I don't know how it really does that. I'm not the chemist, but I can just tell you that it works. And it blends beautifully. It works into the formula, and it's so natural. So this might be a yes. I'm about to request samples so that we can play with this inside the studio. But you see how subtle? I don't want to match this lip to this cheek because I want the lip to be the main focus. So now we're going into eyes. Eyes are just going to be really simple today because the focus is on the lip. So if you remember, I'm experimenting with this to make a crease shadow. And still not sure if it can be done, how it can be done, if it really works. I experimented with it on clients yesterday, and it was a home run. Again, what I'm trying to do is, this is the over the river and through the hood business. Thank you, Erica Taylor, for that lovely analogy, because it's really true. And trying to put something that doesn't give us any texture up above our crease could be a game changer for all of us, because the second I go adding a pencil, and you can see with me testing all these other formulas, they were just epic failures because of the drying agents. This has this blendability in there. Nobody has ever seen something like this before, and I am just trying to figure out if it's honest to God going to work. So I'm going to use the brow highlighter, and this is one that we have at the studio, and what we're trying to do is, again, give us coverage underneath the eyes, underneath the brows. It just levels up the look and makes it just look like skin. And then last is going to be the liquid shadow. And we're going to have it. This is a really pretty, kind of a purple shimmer. I'm just in the mood today. It's like a purple gray shimmer. This lab, unfortunately, as much as I love, and I love the feel, I love the texture, I love nearly everything about this, except it has no staying power. And we get to the end of the day and it's not there. And that isn't going to work for me. Let's see how she goes through this crease. Now, I'd probably not put the shimmer all the way up there, but I just want to say, you know, I own a makeup studio. I can do what I want. Plus, because it kind of gives that matte edge to it, it's really not bringing the shimmer with it. It's kind of fun. All right, see how we do at the end of the night with this. And it's actually 1 o'clock. My end of the night will be by 6, so this has got to last a full 5 hours. 5 hours is a respectable amount of time to see how much we can get it to last. See, at the end of the day, I will come back for a full assessment. My last 2 steps are going to be tiny liner and mascara. And again, trying to find if the tiny liner plays well with the liquid shadow formula. As you can see, it's just very precise and so even. And if I just take a deep breath. So many people that tell me, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. If you just for 2 minutes got deliberate, this formula is so easy. This brush is so easy. It's not going to dry like a felt tip pen. I could blend it out if I wanted to. I think we're looking pretty darn good for getting out the store. I'm going to add a little concealer now. And Again, I'm trying different concealers out. I have a box full, so I'm going to rotate out these ones that I've been trying. I can't say that anything has like really rocked my world in the concealer boat right now. I thought I had one that I loved, and when the lab remade it, because they're the one who had the formula, and when I asked them to remake it, it's so damn dry, and it's just not gonna. So this is another one. Again, trying to find a concealer that doesn't sit in the creases, plays well with smooth canvas, gives the right amount of coverage. I'm just putting leftovers up here. And now I got mascara. This is another mascara wand with a very small brush. And I thought that I liked this. I like the brush. And I'm looking for a formula for, you know, here's the thing, guys, love your lashes now and take care of them. I've always had no lashes with this big hair, and I need a small brush, but the little Korean ones don't work. They don't grab enough product, and we need a mascara that doesn't clump but lengthens and then thickens. So sometimes you need to change the brush after you're able to lengthen. So I'm hopefully coming up with a way that's easy to do that. And you know, I don't hate this I don't hate this brush at all. And I don't hate this formula. We're gonna do a whole mascara deep dive where I'm gonna just take off and I'm gonna put on different mascaras, and I'm gonna explain what I see. You know, I'm very fascinated to try Mario's mascara, and you know, I appreciate 4 years. I'm on about 2. I found one that I loved, and I need to take off one ingredient because of course I'm trying to make it clean, and they're like, you can't have this ingredient in here. And I'm like, well, can we use something else? And they sent me a whole new formula. Anyway, trials and tribulations. So continue to build this brand with me. What do you think? Have an awesome day. I'll report back in a few hours.